Right, number 45. We are so close to being done. It is awesome. All right, so here we go. We are asked to graph this conic section, and this is definitely not in standard form, so we want to get it in standard form. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to group together the x's and the y's on the left and then get everything else to the other side. So the x's, we have x squared and 4x over here, leave a space, and then we've got y squared and negative 2y over here. And we just put that 20 on the other side. So there's some serious completing the squares that's happening in this problem. Right here, and then right there. Okay, so half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we add a 4 there and there. Half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So we add a 1 there. Okay, so we end up with this in factored form as x plus 2 squared. And y squared minus 2y plus 1 is y minus 1 squared equals 20 plus 4 plus 1 is 25. Okay, so that is our standard form. We know we're done in this case because we have the same coefficients in front of the x and the y, and we have a number over here. Sometimes some people like to get it in the same standard form as ellipses and hyperbolas. You can do that too by dividing by 25, but you don't have to. So this is a circle with center at -2, +1. So we're looking at those two for that. Switch the sign inside the parentheses. This still represents the radius squared, which means the radius is 5. Okay, so if we can imagine drawing a circle with those characteristics, let's move this up a little bit. Circle with those characteristics. Let's go ahead and draw this. I'm usually pretty good at multitasking, but sometimes not. This apparently is one of those times. Center is at -2, 1, and a radius of 5. Radius is the distance from the center of the circle to the outside. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. And connect them with the best circle we can. Ooh, not the best circle in the world. Okay, and plus you can see my space for ones here is a little off. So it doesn't look like a circle necessarily, but fortunately you've got some multiple choice answers to look at. So you are in luck. Okay, now we're going to do number 46 in a similar kind of a way. We've got 9x squared plus 16y squared plus 36x plus 64y minus 44 equals 0. Same thing. We want to add the 44. And at the same time, we want to group together the x's and the y's on the left. So we have 9x squared and 36x in one parentheses. We have 16y squared, 64y in the other, and 44 on the right-hand side. All right, so what we end up doing is we want to factor out anything that we can here. The reason is to complete the square, you don't want to have anything in front of that x squared or y squared term. Okay, so we're going to factor out a 9, and we're left with x squared and 4x. And we're going to factor out a 16 here, and we're left with y squared and 4y. And then we have a 44. So we have a couple of squares that we're going to complete. Okay, so half of 4 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So like we've done in the last several problems, we would add 4 to both sides. But remember that 4 over here is being multiplied by a 9. So we have to make sure it matches on the right-hand side. Okay, if there's anything in front of the parentheses, make sure you match it. So same thing here. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4, so we add 4. But it's being multiplied by 16, so we have to add that as well. Okay, so we get 9 times x plus 2 squared plus 16 times y plus 2 squared equals 44 plus 36 plus 64. That comes out to 144. Okay, standard form, this is not in standard form yet. We have different coefficients here, which means we have something other than a circle, which means we have to divide by whatever's on the right to get it into standard form. Okay, always remember that. If there are different coefficients, you have to divide to make sure it's in standard form. So we get x plus 2 squared equals, if we reduce those, we get 16. And y plus 2 squared over 12, make sure you all can see that, equals 1. Whoops, not 12, I'm sorry, 9. Okay, And lastly, we want to write this in terms of a number squared, or number squared. Squared equals that. Okay, so we can write 16 as 4 squared and 9 is 3 squared. So what we have here is we have an ellipse. And the way we know it's an ellipse is because we have both positives here. We have an ellipse with the center at -2, -2, and from that center we are going 4 to the left and 4 to the right, left and right because that's what's under X, and we're going 3 up and 3 down because that's what's under Y, and Y is in the up and down direction. Okay, so let's go ahead and construct that graph. Let's move this up a little bit so I can actually make my graph. Okay, so we have the x-axis here and the y there. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. So again, center is at -2, -2. I did not draw that graph very well. It's getting distracted. School is about to start, so I'm a little distracted here. Okay, so like we said, because 4 is directly under X, we can go left 1, 2, 3, 4 and right 1, 2, 3, 4. Because 3 is directly under Y, we go up 3 and down 3. And we connect these with the best oval or ellipse that we can. All right? And again, fortunately, you have some really nicely constructed graphs to choose from. All right, so we are almost done. We have a few left, and there's the bell, so I better go.